Alright, boys and girls, today's lesson is lesson 5-4, estimating products. After the lesson today, hopefully you'll be able to say I can solve problems involving products where factors are multiples of 10, 100, 1000, and so on. I can estimate whether a product is in the tens, hundreds, thousands, or more, and I can explore the meanings of average. Alright, so the first thing I want us to do is I want you to turn to page 114 in your math journal. What do Americans eat? So pause it if you need to get your math journal. If you already have it on you, turn to page 114. Alright, so this is what do Americans eat. This is basically just there was a survey conducted to find out how much food Americans eat. A large number of people are asked to keep lists of all the foods they eat over several days. These lists are then used to estimate how much each food was eaten during 1 year. The average American eats more than 2,000 pounds of food per year. This is about 5.5 pounds of food per day. Here are the results that show the average what an average American eats or drinks during the following. These are the following amounts that they eat. Well, first off, I want to talk about average. Average is not necessarily the exact answer that each individual eats, but the average just means that there are some above and there are some below. It's kind of average is kind of the middle, because what you do is you would add everything together, and then divide it by how many entries there were. So this is what they did. They added up all the pounds of apples that were eaten by the individuals that did the survey, and then they divide it by how many people did the survey, and then they get 16. So there might be one person who had 0 pounds of apples, but then another person has 32 pounds of apples, so the average of those two would be 16. So let's just take a look at these averages and how many pounds of food they eat per year. What we're going to do is we're going to make rough estimates. Rough estimates are kind of just like what we do all the time when we estimate. We just kind of look at a number and we say, oh, it's probably going to be that. It's probably going to be this. It's close to that. And they're not exact. And they might be off by quite a bit, but your estimate will help you understand where the real answer should be. So let's look at pounds of bananas. Okay, on average, the average person will eat 27 pounds of bananas a year. Okay. What I want you to think about is about how many pounds of bananas might the students in our class eat in 1 year. Okay, so all together as a class, how many might we eat? Okay, there's a couple things you need to know. You need to know how many pounds the average person eats, and then you need to know how many students. Okay, all classes might be different. Let's say your class has 21 students. Okay, 21 is real close to 20. That makes this easier if we're doing a rough estimate. We know 27 is real close to 30. So in order to find out what your average is roughly for your class, how much we would all eat as a whole class, you take your 20 for the students and multiply it by 30 to get, hopefully you know this, because if we extend the multiplication facts, 2 times 3 is 6. Take this 0 over and take this 0 over. So as a class, we would eat 600 pounds of bananas each year, roughly. So the next question is milk. About how many glasses of milk might all the 4th grade students drink in our entire school? Not just our class. Depending on how many 4th grade classrooms are in your school, you would add all of them together. Okay? So, first of all, do you think the answer will be in tens? Do you think it'll be in hundreds, or do you think it'll be in thousands or more? You have to look. It says the average student will drink 350 cups of milk every single year. Okay, so let's put 10,000s up here rather than more. Let's do 10,000s. Okay. Well, first, before we work this out, let's kind of pick which one we think it might be. Remember, say your school has 3 classes that have around 20 kids. We know that means you'll have 60 total kids in your school. Okay, you would have to then multiply that 60 by 350, or 400 if you went around. So we have to figure out, would it be in the tens? Probably not, because 60 kids and 350 cups per kid. No. We know that each kid's going to have 350 cups a year, so we know it can't be in the hundreds. Okay? Could it be in the thousands? Well, let's think about it. 3 kids alone will drink 1,000. Okay, 3 kids will drink 1,000, because 350 plus 350 plus 350 will get you 1,050. So it's got to be way more than 1,000 too, because that's just 3 kids. Okay, so every 3 kids drank 1,000. That means we have 60 kids doing it. It's going to be 20 times that. So this is what we should all be looking at, is in the 10,000s. Our answer should end up with in the 10,000s place. So let's work it out. If we have 60 kids, multiply it by, you can do 350, but like we learned the other day, you can estimate, so you can make it 400 if you want. Take your 6 times 4 equals 24. Then you have 1, 2, 3 zeros, give you 24,000. This is the place value we're looking at. That's the answer. This is how far our place value goes, and that's in the 10,000s place. So you should understand your estimate beforehand, your guess was 10,000s place. Hopefully, just because we guessed it there, hopefully we all, on all the problems, will guess it correctly. And we'd circle it and find out the right answer. Now, the next question I'm going to ask is, how many cups of yogurt might all the students in our whole school eat in 1 year? First, you're going to need to find out how many cups of yogurt each kid eats, and then you need to find out how many kids are in your school. Let's say your school has around 400 kids. Okay, so we know around 400 kids at 28 cups of yogurt, which we could say is close to 30. So 400 kids times 30 cups per kid. Is our answer going to be in the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, or the 10,000s place? Okay, I know just by looking at all the zeros that it's probably not going to be in the tens place. It won't be in the hundreds place, and it's probably going to be more than the thousands place. So I'm going to once again go with 10,000s place here, and let's work it out. There are 30 kids times 400 cups. 30 cups times 400 kids equals, let's see, 3 times the 4 is 12. We have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 zeros. Once again, that is the 10,000s place. So we are correct with 10,000s place. Okay, now I'm not going to really help you on this one. You're going to do this one on your own. I want you to try to find out how many eggs might an average family of 4 eat in 1 year. So a family of 4, how many eggs might a whole family of 4 eat in 1 year? About how many? Okay, I want you to tell me tens, hundreds, thousands, or 10,000s place. Okay, so I want you to work it out on your own. I want you to write down which place value the answer is going to be in, and then I want you to find out roughly about how many eggs a family would eat. So pause it and work on it. Alright, well, hopefully you said to yourself, well, let's see, a family of 4, 255 eggs is close to 300. Okay, by looking at this, you know it's not tens, because it's going to be way more than 10. The answer is going to be way more than 100, because one kid eats close to 300. Let's look at thousands here. There's only four people in the family, close to 300 apiece. I'm going to like thousands on here, because it's certainly not going to be 10,000s. So let's multiply it. 4 times 3 equals 12. Put your 2 zeros on. The answer is 1,200. So the place value it ends at, or starts at, is in the thousands place this time. One more question is, the average person lives to be 77 years old. That's the average. That means some people will live way longer, and some people will live less. If, in an average lifetime, in an average person's lifetime, how many pounds of cheese might a person eat? First, you need to find out how many pounds of cheese, which is 30, and how many pounds of cheese might the average person eat. I want you to pause it, work on it yourself, tell me if it's going to be tens, hundreds, thousands, or 10,000s place. So pause it now. Alright, well, hopefully you said 77 is close to 80. 30 pounds per year for each person. When you multiply it, you know that it's not going to be in the tens. not going to be in the hundreds, and not going to be in the 10,000s. That's way too big of a number. So you do 80 times 30. You take the 8 times 3, you get 24. Then you move the 2 zeros back down, gives you 2,400. So the average person in your whole lifetime, each one of you, the average will eat 2,400 pounds of cheese. Wow, that's a lot. Now I want you to turn to the next page, page 115, and I want you to work on these on your own. You're going to do the same thing here. You're going to figure out what they're asking, and then you're going to first guess which one of these it's going to fall under, which place value. So number 1 says an average of about 23 new species of insects are discovered each day. About how many new species are discovered in 1 year? Well, we know 23 is close to 20. Okay, times by how many days in a year? 365. Let's just round it up to 400. So is this going to fall into the tens? No way. Hundreds? No. Not going to be hundred. Not going to be millions. Not going to be 100,000s. There's only 1, 2, 3 zeros here, so it probably won't be in the 10,000s. So let's multiply it. 2 times 4 equals 8, and we have 1, 2, 3 zeros in the thousands place. Close to 10,000, but we're in the thousands place. I want you to work on numbers 2, 3, and 4 on your own. Good luck.